Okay, sharks, let's get right to it. We're here today because we've identified a massive, and I mean massive, untapped intellectual market. We're talking about an entire ecosystem of ideas that has been systematically undervalued for centuries. So we're not just here pitching a product, we're pitching a revolution. Pitch? This right here? This is our mission statement. It's simple, it's sharp, it's powerful. We're not trying to boil the ocean here. We are laser-focused on a specific, profound set of challenges with a dedicated intellectual framework. This is our North Star. This is what keeps us on track. Whoa, hold on a second. An area of research? It sounds academic. It sounds crowded. I mean, everyone in a university is trying to solve some kind of problem. So tell me, what's your secret sauce? What's the unique selling proposition? Why is this venture necessary now? That's the question, isn't it? And you know what? We're ready for it. Our entire pitch is built to answer exactly that. First, we'll walk through the market opportunity. Then, we'll expose the glaring gap in that market. After that, we'll define our core value proposition, show you our roadmap and the traction we've already gained, and detail our strategy for scaling up. And finally, we'll get to the most important part, the ultimate return on investment. Pitch. So, let's dive right in. The market gap. See, the current marketplace of ideas, it's broken. It has a fundamental flaw in its design. It wasn't built for a world of diverse thought. It was built to be a self-reinforcing echo chamber. Pitch. The big player in this space is basically a monopoly. What the source material calls hegemonic epistemic practice is just a fancy way of saying the system rigs the game. It creates a space that automatically, systemically devalues anything that doesn't fit the dominant model.
Okay, hang on. Stop right there. You're framing this all wrong. You're bearing the lead. What you're calling a flaw, that's not a flaw. That's a massive, massive opportunity. The incumbent's refusal to innovate has created a wide-open blue ocean for a disruptor. You're not just filling a small gap, you're creating an entirely new market.
Okay, you have my attention. Go on. Exactly. You get it. And believe me, the barriers to entry were huge. We're talking about legacy systems, universities, built on frameworks that were literally designed to devalue our core assets, our foundational R&D, our early work. It all had to happen outside the mainstream, in those so-called disruptive spaces. We had to prove our model against an entrenched system that was built from the ground up to ignore us. Pitch. So that brings us to the big question. What is the product exactly? And who are we selling it to? This is our core value proposition. Pitch. Our target audience, our customer base, is defined by what we call Africanity. Think of it like this. It's a huge global community connected by a shared history rooted in Africa and its diaspora. And it's not a monolith, not at all. It's an incredibly diverse network with a shared historical context. Pitch. And the core problem we're solving for this audience is what our source calls problematicity. This is the unique set of issues tied directly to that Africana condition.
Shark, problematicity. Come on, that's business school jargon. Cut the fluff. Break it down for me. What does that actually mean for the end user? What is the pain point you're really solving here?
Fair point. It really works on 3 levels. First, it's about facing real, concrete problems. We're talking everything from forced migrations to economic injustice. Second, it tackles the psychological weight of being seen as a problem. Something the great W.E.B. Du Bois asked so powerfully, how does it feel to be a problem? You know, when a society sees your very existence as a sign of its own failures.
Okay, and the third level?
The third is raising problems. Our whole framework, by its very nature, disrupts the status quo. It forces the mainstream to look in the mirror and confront its own blind spots. So we face problems, we deal with being seen as a problem, and we raise new problems. It's a complete 360-degree solution. Pitch. And look, this isn't just some idea on a napkin. We've got the receipts. We have a proven roadmap that shows clear market traction and sustained growth over decades. Pitch. The timeline tells the whole story. Phase 1, our seed stage, before the 60s, was a pure grassroots movement, a philosophy born of struggle. Then came the 80s, our Series A, you could say, when key thinkers got a strategic foothold inside the academy. And then the 90s and 2000s, that was our growth and consolidation phase, where major scholars produced work that solidified our position as a major player. It's a classic organic growth story. All right, so that's where we've been. Now let's talk about where we're going. Let's talk about scaling our impact and diversifying our product lines. Pitch, our #1 growth strategy, we call it riffing. It's kind of like jazz. You take a classic melody, a standard, but you don't just play it note for note. You twist it, you innovate on it, you add new layers. You create something totally new and way more interesting. That's what thinkers like Angela Davis did with critical theory, or Lewis Gordon with existential phenomenology. And this approach, wow, it's allowed us to spin up an incredible portfolio of new product lines. We're doing pioneering work in intersectionality. We're re-examining concepts like Ubuntu. We're redefining political thought through ideas like Afropolitanism. And we're tackling deep existential questions with frameworks like Afropessimism. We are always innovating, always pushing the envelope. A good business has to scale. You can't just stay with your initial user base. Are you thinking globally?
Oh, 100%. Our market expansion is already happening. We're moving beyond the Americas to engage with Africana communities in Canada and Europe. And we're even drilling down into really complex internal markets, like the philosophical questions around white inhabitants in places like South Africa. Our total addressable market, it's global, and it's getting bigger every single day.
Okay, so that brings me to my final point. The bottom line, the real ROI. Pitch, I want you to remember this phrase. This isn't just theory. This isn't some abstract academic game for the ivory tower. This is a framework that was forged in the fire of real-world struggle. It's a practical tool for navigation, for understanding, and for living. Pitch. So here it is, the final ask. And no, we're not here for your money. We're asking for your intellectual buy-in. The return on investment here isn't going to be in dollars and cents. It's a software update for how we think. It's a new practice for bringing our best, sharpest intellectual tools to solve the most urgent problems we all face. Okay, you've done it. You found a monopoly, you proved your model, and you've laid out a clear plan to scale. The value proposition is solid, it's undeniable. And the return? You're right, it's not monetary, it's transformational. So the real question, it's not for me anymore. It's for all of you watching. Are you ready to invest in an idea that could fundamentally change the way we see the world? I'm in. The only question left is, are you?